Very warm welcome, everybody, to our drivers' press conference ahead of the FIA Formula One Mexico City Grand Prix. Two groups coming your way, as ever, and Group 1 with us now. Left of screen, we have Yuki Tsunoda. In the middle, we have Oscar Piastri. And right of screen, we have Liam Lawson. Very warm welcome to you all. Can we start with our World Championship leader, please? Oscar, good to see you. Now, you're leading, but it is getting closer. The three of you now within 40 points. Just how is the looming presence of Lando and Max changing your approach?
It's not, to be honest. I think, obviously the gap has shrunk a little bit in the last few races, but for me, the focus has always been on just trying to go as fast as I can and get the most out of every weekend, which in some of the weekends we have, in some of them we definitely haven't. So that's really all I'm focused on, and I think if I do a good enough job of getting on top of that every weekend, then it doesn't really matter what the picture looks like.
Hunter or hunted? What do you prefer?
Both have their positives and negatives. I think obviously it's everyone likes a good underdog story, or trying to come back is sometimes a bit easier, but I'd rather have the championship lead than be in any other spot. So I've always kind of said I enjoy that because it normally means you're doing something right, and I think through the course of the season we have done a lot of things right, and there's some things that we can still do even better.
Scoring points in every race is obviously crucial. So no more sprints like in Austin. Have you reviewed what happened on the Saturday in Austin, and are there any repercussions for either you or Lando this weekend?
We've gone through it again. We go through every weekend, regardless of what's happened, and I think there is a degree of responsibility from my side in the sprint, and we're starting this weekend with a clean slate for both of us. So. Just going out and racing and see who can come out on top.
So no repercussions for either of you. In terms of performance, do you think it's going to be very close between you and Red Bull, or do you think McLaren does have the legs of Red Bull at this high altitude?
Difficult to know. I think the kind of form card and where we think we will be strong and where others think, where we thought others would be strong, is not always lined up perfectly, which has often been the case in this generation of cars. But I think clearly over the last few race weekends, Red Bull and Max have certainly found consistency. I think more than anything, there was flashes of that kind of performance earlier in the season, but I think the last few weekends it's been very consistent. So I'm sure that they're going to be a threat again this weekend, and we'll try our best to get the most out of our car and see where we end up.
Thanks for that, Oscar. I'm sure there'll be more questions for you in a minute. Now, Liam, why don't we come to you now? Frustrating one for you in Austin, so close to the points in both races. Just what positives do you take from Austin?
I think we had quite a fast quali car. I think we struggled a little bit in the race, but it's just close. It's been close all year. It feels like it's getting even closer now. Just important to extract everything, try and put everything together on each weekend. And I think we just didn't quite do that in Austin, and that's probably why we came very, very close, but missed out on points in both races. But I don't think we need to drastically change. I think the car's been quick, so we just need to basically do our procedure and learn from the one or two things we probably made mistakes on in Austin and try and not do them here.
What about the altitude here in Mexico? Do you think that will play to your advantage?
I have no idea, honestly. I think last year we thought that, and I think we had quite a competitive car last year. But it's just hard. Like Oscar said, I think quite often we think going on past years and on experience that there's certain tracks we go to that might suit us. To be honest, we felt very good about Austin, and it was a tougher weekend for us. So to be honest, I think that's out the window, and we just come here with the strongest package that we think we have, and then we'll try and go from there.
Now, it's an important period ahead for you and the team, isn't it? Because your future in Formula One is going to be decided. And of course, the team's Constructors' Championship position is going to be decided as well. Just how are you personally approaching the next few weeks?
I mean, for sure, obviously, we know in the back of our minds that it is an important part of the year, but to be honest, it's not really any different to the start, or at least the approach doesn't really change. Obviously, every weekend I'm going into it trying to do the best job I can, and I'll do the same thing this weekend. We've done all the preparations, and it's actually a track that I quite enjoy driving. So I think, yeah, in terms of the approach, nothing really changes. And then we'll see.
Do you believe you've done enough to stay at Racing Bulls next year?
I think hindsight's amazing. You know, you always look back on stuff that you've done and you always learn from things. You know, we're not perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. And for sure, there's things over a season that I'll look back on and learn from mainly. But I think that's the main thing. As long as looking back on those mistakes or things that I learn from them and try and not do them again, that's the most important thing. So I think from that side, yes, I feel like I've done everything that I can, and I'll continue doing that.
All right. Liam, thank you for that. And
Thank
Yuki,
you.
can I bring you in on this topic now of your future, the team's battle in the Constructors' Championship as well? How are you going to play the next few weeks?
Yes. Hi everyone. It's same. I think Austin was some mixed race week, but it was good races in both races and scored points. And yeah, I think definitely I'm in the right trajectory. Improving lots of stuffs. So I think, yeah, I'm confident what I'm doing now, and just keep pushing to score points. I think there's still potential to be in a P2 Team Championship. And there's still, potential to be the World Championship. So I try to be in front of these guys, and help as much as possible.
Yuki, as you say, the improvement is definitely there. Do you think you've done enough to stay at Red Bull next year?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm confident in what I've done and what situation I am, and. Yeah, obviously, I try to give the best as much as possible to improve myself as soon as possible and score points. So yeah, I just keep what I'm doing, and it's up to them really. It's what kind of a team lineup they want, but it's just. I think I'm improve a lot of things, and I also keep proving myself to deserve. I can be the same team or next year.
You're using the word improvement a lot, and so you should, because it is getting better and better. Can we just investigate where the improvements are coming from? How have you managed to unleash this new level of performance? Is it something to do with the setup?
A lot of things, I would say. I've been this environment 5 years, and it's just how the pressure is, things going on in each team is different, and I think it's just not just setup. Especially I was struggling quite a lot in the long run, I would say, in the first beginning, and now I proved that quite a lot, a big step, and now. A little bit struggling to put it all together the whole weekend as a performance run in the long run. So that's what I'm focusing at. But just, basically, most important thing is I got support a lot from his team. And Laurent, those engineers, helmet, those without that I wouldn't be here and able to improve. So I think the tools are there, and that's why I able to started to. In a right direction, I guess.
All right. Thank you, Yuki, for that. Right, let's now open this to the floor. We will start with the broadcasters. Who's first? Nelson, yeah.
Nelson Valkenburg for Viaplay. For Oscar, given that you are the one that's being hunted, and given the fact that this is such a long run to the first corner, it seems that it doesn't matter where you qualify, there is going to be some chaos. How do you deal with it beforehand? Do you have a plan? How do you stay out of trouble and keep it clean going through first and second corner?
It's a tough place. there we go. It is a tough place to start a race. You know, obviously with such a long run, I'd still rather be starting from first and trying to get the best run you can and give yourself the best chance of still leading the race. But yeah, ultimately you have to try and make what you think is the right decision and trust your instincts. Because, you know, sometimes the outside will work, sometimes the inside will work, sometimes the middle works. So yeah, you just kind of have to deal with the situation that you've got and yeah, try and deal with it as best you can because there's no magic formula.
Thank you, Oscar.
David Croft, Sky Sports F1. Another question to you, Oscar. How much of what you're going through at the moment has any resemblance, similarity to your F3 championship winning year, where your points lead was whittled down to nothing by the final round? And are you using that as a reference point to help you race to race?
There are some similarities, yes. I think ultimately in this championship I feel stronger than I did in that year, and some things are a bit different. I think it's also similar to the Formula Renault championship I had, in some ways scarily similar. But I think the good thing I have is the evidence that I can pull it off and won both of those championships. So you know, those are nice things to look back on, definitely. But I also know that just because I've done it before doesn't mean it's automatically going to happen this time. But it is nice to look back on, you know, how I've handled those kind of situations in the past, the experience I have now from that, and yeah, how I can apply that to this year. But ultimately, it's about trying to go as fast as possible and try and qualify as best as you can and finish as high as you can. It's obviously not as simple to execute that, but the plan at least is pretty straightforward.
Tim Hurreny, TSN. Another question for you, Oscar. Sorry. Does it concern you at all how much Max has been able to claw his way back into this championship? Is it something that you even think about? And if not, why?
It's not really something I think about. No, I think, you know, he's been very consistent in the last few weekends and been strong as well. There's no denying that. But for me, there's no benefit for me in worrying about that or focusing on that. You know, the thing that's going to help me win this championship is trying to get the most out of myself, the most out of the car, the most out of the team around me, and worrying about anyone else on the grid is not focusing on that. So, you know, he's there, he's in the fight, but ultimately that doesn't change how I'm going to approach my racing.
Mara San Giorgio, Sky Sport Italy. A question to Oscar. Oscar, 5 different tracks from here to the end. Which ones are in your favor and which ones are pro-Max in your opinion?
I think, like I said before, it's very difficult to read. You know, I think for me, it's very difficult to predict who's going to be strong where. I think, if anything, it's more about who maximizes their car each weekend rather than whose car suits different things. Because, you know, there was certain things of Austin that potentially worked well for us, but certain things that didn't, and a lot of other circumstances. So it's very, very difficult to judge, but I think it will be close everywhere we go.
Okay, thank you. Who's next? Yeah.
Tom Slafer, DAZN Spain. Question for Liam and Yuki. You were both talking about your future, and 3 out of the 4 available seats for next year are part of Red Bull family. Regardless of what happens or where you will be next year, would you like to know now your future, or do you think it's better to wait until the end of the year, until after Abu Dhabi?
I have no idea, to be honest. I haven't thought about that specifically. So I feel like if it was something that was clear and the decision was made, I feel like we probably would know, to be honest, and maybe that would be better. But at the same time, I think the main thing is it just doesn't really change how we approach each weekend. So at the moment, as we're obviously still waiting on everything that's going to happen, I think our approaches will just stay the same and trying to extract everything out of each weekend.
Yeah, that's a crazy question. I mean, I think being this Red Bull family for 5 years, and I think it's part of, I know how it works here. I think I'm being in this kind of situation pretty much every year so far. So I know how it's handled in Red Bull. So I just keep proving myself and maximize the opportunity. And my most important thing is I'm very grateful to this opportunity that I've given, and I just have to maximize it as much as possible. That's the only focus I'm doing. Yeah.
All right, thanks both.
Laurent Dupin, Canal+, question for Oscar. Last time after the race in Austin, Max Verstappen said he would have called an idiot someone telling him in Zandvoort that he would be in contention for the title. Back then, did you think that it would be only between yourself and Lando?
I think probably yes, but I think probably everyone did. I think the run of form that he's had since Monza has been, I think, a bit of a surprise. I think that, again, there was flashes of that kind of performance at certain points earlier in the season, but there was also some pretty big dips. So for it to now be consistent, I think that is been a bit of a surprise. We know they've been still throwing a lot of things at their car, trying to improve it. So in some ways, it's not a huge surprise, but I think for everyone, he's probably coming to the fight quicker, and he's just come to the fight quicker than I expected.
Question for both Liam and Yuki. Stakes are high for both of you. There was a little bit of aggro, it seemed, in Austin. Have you guys spoken after this weekend in America? Is everything clean? Are you happy with racing against each other, or haven't you spoken?
Yuki?
I don't think we have spoken in person.
I don't really know what happened in Austin, to be honest. So,
I apologize to the team, to the car. What I said in social media was very unnecessary, and I think that's it.
Yeah, I mean it's an intense part of the season, so for sure, obviously each weekend's going to be tough. It's just incredibly close this year. So each session, especially in qualifying, we're trying to extract everything. So it's little things that make a difference, but yeah.